Vic Caroleo coming at you today in the T car. And I just want to say hello. You've been on my mind, and I want to tell you, I want to start my message off with saying, don't waste a good prison sentence. I want to say it again. Don't waste a good prison sentence. Some of you have been derailed. I want to tell you something. It wasn't by the devil. It wasn't by your wife, your family member. No, it was by Jesus Christ and Him alone. He let you get derailed that He could deal with you. Some of you are in prison right now, and you're saying, "Oh God, I don't know how I got here." I'm not talking about a physical prison. Maybe I am to certain people, but for the most part, I'm talking about the prison of your mind, the prison of when you prayed, "God, please help me. Please answer my prayer," and there comes no answer. 1 year, 2 years. I've been through it. I understand that there's things I've been praying for, and I say, "God, you haven't answered them yet." I've seen disappointment in many different spheres of life, but I want to tell you that through it all, I learned that while I'm in prison, while I'm locked up in chains like Paul was, Paul looked out the window and he wrote in the book, "Put on the full armor of God." I want to tell you today, it's time to get big in God. Take advantage of this time that you have alone with God. Take advantage of this. Take advantage of the years right now where God is being quiet. He's playing hide and go seek. And you're seeking Him, and sometimes you say, "Where are you, God? Where are you?" And He gives you sometimes glimmers here and there, and you get glimmers of Him, but it's not exactly the way you thought it would wind up being from the beginning of time. But I'm here to tell you that Jesus Christ has you in prison right now, but when He releases you, come on now, there comes a release in the Spirit of God. I tell you, I've been there. I've been through years of trials and tribulations. Oh, I might have had this and had that, but my God, I know what it is to go through the unanswered prayer. I know what it is to get into something and say, "My God, God, how am I in this? And how come I can't break through and break out? Lord, why did it go this way? I mean, I did everything right, but what? I've been there. I know what it's like, but I don't want to cry today and tell you, I've been through it. No, I want to tell you that through the prison sentences, as my apostle used to tell me, "Vic, take advantage of this time. Take advantage. Get out the Word of God. Break out the Word of God. Learn the truth about Jesus Christ. Study the Word. Show yourself approved." And I remember for years, and I'm not talking about 1-2 years, as I was in the trial, and still in some areas in the trial. Let me give you a definition of a trial, because I don't want you to think. I'm not talking about, I went off into drinking and alcoholism or womanizing. No. The trial is that maybe for you and for me, God said we were going to do something, and it just didn't come out the way we thought it was. Or maybe God gave you a glimmer of the way He wanted you to walk, and things changed, circumstances changed. But I want to tell you that as you're in the prison, like Joseph was in the prison, listen to this story. Joseph in Genesis. Joseph went through all he went through. His brothers hated him, and you know the story better than me, most of you. But now he's in jail. This little cut is from a razor. Not that I was slicing myself a cut while I was shaving. But Joseph now is in jail. I like when I break in there and just say, "You know what, people are going to see this scar. They're going to say this. He's got, I know, I can see it in the camera." But listen to this. Joseph now, he's in jail. He's in prison. He's doing his term. And all of a sudden, Pharaoh's having his own trials. And Pharaoh speaks to, I believe it was the cupbearer, and says, the cupbearer comes up to Pharaoh and says, "I know somebody that's in jail right now, but he hears from God." And Pharaoh right away said, "He hears from God? Go get that man. Go get him. Go get him and bring him to me." And I remember in the story that cupbearer went down to that prison cell. He knocked on the door. Joseph said, "Who is it?" Joseph, and the cupbearer repeats back and says, he said, "It is I've come from Pharaoh to ask you to come and interpret Pharaoh's dream." And all of a sudden Joseph says, "Wait a minute. You gotta be kidding me. Pharaoh wants to speak to me, Joseph said to the cupbearer. The cupbearer says, yeah, he wants to speak to you. He says, oh my God. He said, give me a minute while I shave and change my clothes. Joseph knew that while he was in prison, that the day would come that he would be sprung out. But he knew when he came out, he had to come out with a different attitude, a different outlook. He changed those prison clothes, those orange robe. He took it off and he put on nice clothes. He shaved himself, took off that beard that made him look like he was a degenerate. And all of a sudden he says, I'm about to walk out and touched the magistrates of that day. And he went out and touched that man. And my God, the story, you could read it on your own time, but I want to tell you, Joseph understands what it is to be in jail. I'm telling you, I come to spring you out today. I come to spring you out of the sentence that you have. I come to tell you that help is on the way. I come to tell you that Jesus Christ, though he may have let you go into the prison that you're in, I tell you, help is on the way. Eventually the prison door opens, and when you come out, you're going to be so large in God that when you speak, people are going to listen, because you have paid the price. Come on. Some of you don't even understand things about Christ because you haven't paid no price. Some of you are preaching and you haven't paid a price and your words fall to the ground. But I believe God's raising up modern day evangelists that are going to touch the world, not only with their words out of the scriptures, but out of their experiences of life. What a day we are embarking on, and I'm here to tell you, you are part of that day. I said you are part of that day. God bless you. Remember, Jesus Christ loves you, and I'll be back real soon. 2013, VixInfo.com. VixInfo.com.